The federal election campaign is now into its second week, with the two major parties rolling out new promises in two battleground areas, British Columbia and the Greater Toronto Area. I should say two of the major parties, not the only two parties. Now, one is aimed at helping first home buyers, and the other that would keep more money in the pockets of Canadians who sell significant assets. CBC's Karina Roman is in Ottawa tracking developments, and she begins with NDP Leader Jagmeet Singh's new campaign promise.
So he had an announcement on housing that would be NDP government would bring in the capacity for the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, CMHC, to give loans, low interest and fixed term loans to first-time home buyers. So we all know CMHC insures mortgages for people who can't do the full deposit percentage on a home, but this would actually be them being the mortgage lenders themselves. We don't have a lot of detail yet from the NDP on how this would work or what the income threshold would be or any of that, but it is a very different proposal that we haven't really heard before. Basically, taxpayer subsidized mortgages for first-time homeowners. So that was, or buyers, sorry. So that was the actual announcement. But of course, he was also asked a lot of questions, especially the kind of question he's been asked every day is about the polls showing that the NDP has quite an uphill battle to really be in this race, especially right now he's in British Columbia, which is a very important province to the NDP. He noted himself that most of the races that they are really competitive in are actually orange-blue races, which would mean that they are up more against the Conservatives and the Liberals. And, Jagmeet Singh being asked, whether he's concerned that Donald Trump and that whole issue is squeezing the NDP out, and that the fortunes, according to the polls, could have them lose a number of seats, especially in British Columbia. So he said in answer to that, look at what just 25 NDP MPs accomplished in the last parliament. Dental care, pharmacare, other social programs helped during COVID. And so his pitch is maybe less about an NDP government as opposed to getting a certain number of NDP MPs in the House of Commons. And part of that, though, is him struggling to get the message out about who should take credit for those programs, because, of course, the Liberals also take credit for those programs. Have a listen to what he had to say.
Those things that we're really proud of, the things that the Liberals might be bragging about, we actually made those things happen. Dental care, we made happen. Pharmacare, we made happen. Anti-scab legislation, we made happen. And so when people are going into the dentist's office and getting their teeth looked after, seniors are getting their teeth looked after for the first time after living in so much pain, we can say very confidently, we made that happen. And this campaign is an opportunity for our candidates to go to the doors and let people know, those things that work really well, they would never have happened if the Liberals were there on their own. It's because New Democrats forced them to make it happen.
And in terms of the threat of tariffs or otherwise from Donald Trump, Jagmeet Singh saying that what the NDP is trying to get across is that they're the party that has the backs of Canadians. So when faced with all this uncertainty, they might not be able to bring certainty back in, but the one thing that is for certain is that if Canada is hit hard, it would be the NDP that would push for programs that would soften the blow.
All right, let's turn to the Conservative Party leader, Pierre Poilievre. He was back in the Greater Toronto Area today. He, too, was unveiling a new policy, this time on a tax promise. But at the same time, he had to deal with questions about all this reporting, including by CBC News, about internal squabbling within the Conservative Party. Tell us what he had to say.
So first on the announcement, he was announcing the Canada First reinvestment tax credit, which is basically eliminating the capital gains tax on proceeds from a sale as long as you reinvest it in a Canadian investment. So whether it's a farmer or home builder or a small business, instead of facing that tax bill and therefore maybe not selling an asset to reinvest in something new, this U.S. would take that burden and that thing that might hold you back from selling it if you reinvest it in Canada. So the goal is to incentivize business investment in Canada, which has been lagging compared to the U.S. And that is part of Pierre Poilievre's message when asked about whether he's dealing with the whole threat of Trump and trade and tariffs enough, because there has been accusations from people in the Conservative Party that he's not really getting out there with that message. And in fact, there have been reports that because people disagree with the focus of the Conservative campaign, there has actually been discord in the party about that. So, of course, Pierre Poilievre was asked about that. Here's what he had to say.
Today, we are standing up to the Americans with a Canada First reinvestment tax cut that will bring tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars of investment into our economy to create an economic fortress against the unjustified and unfair threats of Donald Trump. We need a change with a Canada First government that will axe taxes, build homes, approve resources, bring home the hundreds of billions of dollars the Liberals have pushed out of the economy so that we can stand up to the president from a position of strength.
So making the link that the things that he's announcing a Conservative government would do does deal with the threat of Donald Trump. But I will point out he did sidestep the question about whether there's dysfunction and discord and tension within the Conservative Party right now, and certainly in their war room. That said, obviously there's other campaigns out there, the Bloc Québécois in Quebec, dealing and focusing on seniors today. For the Liberals' part, Mark Carney not having any media availabilities on the schedule for today. We are just told that he is meeting with a family in Ottawa at some point today, but otherwise no big rally or announcement planned, at least not of yet.
CBC's Karina Roman in Ottawa.